fills heartache and joy, and we wouldn't want it any other way. For Sheffield Wednesday, it was the ultimate joy back in May when Josh Windass scored the ultimate joy back in the League One. Josh Windass scored the ultimate joy back in the League One. Josh Windass scored the ultimate joy back in the League One. Josh Windass scored the ultimate joy back in the League One. Josh Windass scored the ultimate. Cisco Munoz has joined as the new Owls boss. The last time he managed in the Championship, he led Watford to the promised land of the Premier League. Many familiar faces remain here at Hillsborough. Barry Bannon captains the side tonight, and playoff final hero Josh Windass starts. For tonight's visitors, it's their first time in the second tier in over a decade, relegated from the Premier League after winning only 25 points last season. Southampton also said goodbye to their manager as 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 departed. So Saints appointed Russell Martin, who arrives from Swansea City. So far, they have managed to keep hold of a number of key players, and one of the stars from last season's Championship, Nathan Tella, returns from his loan at Burnley. James Ward-Prowse starts as skipper with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 on the bench. Get yourselves buckled up, as it's going to be quite the ride. It's a massive Championship season that lies ahead, so we thought we'd kick things off right. It's Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton, and we simply cannot wait. A very, very warm welcome to game one of 1,656 across the regular EFL season. Two big teams in action tonight, three big hitters alongside me, and just under an hour till kick-off. Joby McEnroe, Franny Bernali, Clinton Morrison. Guys, you can tell I'm very excited. It's lovely to see all three of you right here tonight. Joby, I'll start with you. Glad to be back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think certainly this season, with what we've got in store across all the leagues, but certainly the Championship in particular, new managers, new players, you even got a new beard, Pratt. So, listen, I think it's one to
That was only 30 seconds, well done. I mean, it's wonderful to get going again, isn't it, Clinton? Maybe we thought it'd be slightly different being here tonight on the first day back of the season. There's been a bit of change. You were there at the playoff final. This club on the way back to where it belongs?
Yeah, definitely. I've said it many times. I think this club should be in the Premier League. I think the fans, the structure here at this football club are magnificent. But my only disappointment was, and I've voiced my opinion, and I'm entitled to voice my opinion, is I thought the job Darren Moore done last season was superb. I thought we'd be here talking about how good he is and the players that he's brought in to go to the Championship. But you know what? They parted ways, and he's gone his separate ways. He'll get another job because he's an outstanding manager, Darren Moore, alongside his team. And I wish Isco all the best, because this club deserves success. But it's going to be a hard season because Championship's a difficult league to play in.
Clinton was a former teammate of mine right here at Sheffield Wednesday, to varying degrees of success. Joby dodged that particular bullet. Franny Bernali and I played together a very long time ago, didn't we, Franny? Lovely to see you here with us tonight. Southampton back in the Championship after a very, very disappointing season last season in the Premier League. What do you make of them right now?
As you say, it's getting over that initial disappointment, anger, frustration that there was at being relegated last season, Prutz. I think we've heard Russell Martin himself say already in pre-season that he would have liked longer to have worked with the team. I think we're seeing what we're seeing this first game tonight is a bit of work in progress. Clearly wants to be coming here and coming out of the traps, but we're going to see a team that playing the ball on the grass without doubt. I was at the game on Saturday in their last pre-season friendly. It was pretty much from the kick-off back to the goalkeeper, 4 or 5 passes across the 18-yard box. We're going to see a lot of that, and then just choosing those right moments. I think he wants his team to recognise when to break forward, when to make those crucial passes, but very much football, I would imagine, under his tenure.
More of that in due course, but as ever, it's been a big football season, summer of change. And in the Championship, there's no difference anywhere else on the planet. It's wonderful. There's David Stowell to get you up to date.
Want to see some dodgy duff dancing come May. The Hornets appointed Ismail as head coach, but with the departures of Ismaila Sarr and João Pedro.
Oh, we're back. Sorry, I'll talk you through that later on.
I know you've got that. You have got that.
You need
that
to
is
know
your dance move.
How to do that. So many things, of course, jumping out from what we've just seen there. I mean, Tom Brady in at Birmingham. Is that you? Hands up for doing all the Birmingham City games at St Andrews.
Well, I think Clinton's going to try and nick them all off me, seeing his ex-Birmingham, of course. But it's nice to see a bit of excitement around that football club. Everything they've had to deal with the last couple of years, disenchantment with former owners, stands being closed, not being anywhere near, certainly the Birmingham City that we feel should be at this level, and I think that's just another sign of the club going in the right direction. I think they've had a really good window recruitment-wise. John Eustace did a brilliant job last year. They've given him the tools to go and really improve things and get that club back where I'm sure all their fans think they should be, so it should be an exciting place to watch.
Aaron Ramsey back at Cardiff. Fair to say the last few seasons haven't gone quite his way overall. Are we looking at a player that wants that golden swan song, Franny?
Yeah, I mean, I love this story. I mean, this is, you know, we're seeing a lot of players going to Saudi for big contracts, big wages. This is full circle for Aaron Ramsey. It's like 500 appearances plus, captain in Wales. He's won 3 FA Cups with Arsenal. You know, he's had a wonderful career, but he's gone back to his club where he made his debut as a 16-year-old. So brilliant for him, brilliant for the club. He'll be a massive influence on them and a big part of whatever success they have this season.
Leeds in action, of course, against Cardiff on Sunday. What's your thoughts on Daniel Farke taking over there, Clinton?
I like Farke. I think he's a good manager. The job he's done at Norwich, he always was one of those, he gets them promoted, then they don't spend enough money and they get down. One signing in particular I like is Ampadu. I think Ampadu will be a really good signing. And if they can keep the players like Tyler Adams, no one wants to go to Ellen Road and play there. Their fans are fantastic. So Leeds have got a great opportunity of getting promoted, and I do like the manager a lot.
Okie dokie, we've got experts here. We've got experts across the board in at Sky HQ. George and Ali from the Not the Top 20 podcast met up with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to debate this season's championship.
Bit of championship talk, can't beat it. My first place is Leicester City. My second, automatic, it's Middlesbrough, which is a big call.
Southampton, who I think look the best set to me to go straight back up. You know, they appointed Jason Wilcox as director of football early in the summer, brought in Russell Martin, who's a manager that I think we're now going to see with an elite squad for the level.
But by Christmas, I reckon VAR is going to be hitting the English second division. They're going to make an announcement before Christmas.
Neil Warnock.
Not again.
Going to get funky with Neil Warnock, going to retire again during the season. Yeah, he's going to be there. Huddersfield are going to be 19th in December, and he's going to say, do you know what? I can't say this anymore.
I'm most worried about Sheffield Wednesday. After seeing them get promoted and win in the playoffs the way they did, it was incredible. But then to go and sack their manager, hire Cisco, I don't know what's going on there. I think they're going to go straight down unless they really spend some money.
So the boys there putting their necks on the line. Here are their predictions, chaps. We've got automatic promotion, playoff winner, relegated, best transfer, worst transfer, golden boot and wild card. Anything of that? Go on, Fred. You've got something to say, Franny. Go on.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing the Saints crest on there quite a bit on the automatic promotion and the playoff winner, so I'll take
You're
that.
happy with that?
Either way, yeah.
Yeah, I think Southampton will be there or there, but I'm not happy with the Sheffield Wednesday getting relegated. I'm not quite sure about that.
Well, they've said that from the safety of Sky, which is a couple of 100 miles away from here, so that's why
they're
they've been able
clever,
to say
aren't
that,
they? Yeah, no, but it will be a difficult season. It is going to be a difficult season. New manager coming in there, and they've only just made a few signings this week, so it will be difficult for Sheffield Wednesday. But I think Southampton, even if they lose a few of their big players that we might talk about, I still think they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
How's Connor Cody the worst transfer?
Oh,
I mean,
my
it's
word.
like, for me, a big investment, but listen, it's a leader, you know, former captain of his football club. I think that'll turn out to be a really good bit of business, and obviously have to replace players that have left. The other one I'm not too sure about is Cardiff, relegated. I think they've done really well. Spoken about Aaron Ramsey. They've improved forward areas, and I certainly think they'll go better than they have done in the last couple of seasons.
They made a mistake. I think they meant Connor Cody best transfer because he's brilliant. He's experienced.
Well, I tell you what, Clinton, if you want more of this particular content, the Sky Sports YouTube channel is where you need to go. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's championship predictions, and then the chaps debate how well Wrexham will get on in League Two. Okay, there's been some tweaks to the laws of the game by the PGMOL, specifically to combat time wasting and to get more ball in play time across the EFL. Let's just get you up to speed with the latest additions. So this is what we're looking at with regards to time wasting. So the top referees will now add on extra time for goals and subsequent celebrations, substitutions, injuries and treatment time, red cards and penalties. In those particular instances, referees will caution players for not keeping required distance at free kicks. We've all done that. Delaying the restart of play, and the EFL will also adopt the multi-ball system. All, of course, as I was saying, Joey, to make sure that we get more of what we're all here for, which is ball in play time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at some of the statistics and actually over the course of a game, how little the ball is actually in play, I think something around 50 odd minutes per game across the leagues, and it's like a surprising stat, I suppose. I think certainly for us, we want to see more action over that 90 minutes. I suppose the question is consistency. I think that is the big part, and I think we always see when these rules do come in at the start of the season, we're going to see some big numbers of injury time, added on time at end of games. And listen, I think it's about trying to get on board with it as much as possible and, you know, see it for what it is, which is about us seeing the product and the good football that we want to see.
With that, in that regard, sorry, Frank, when you are looking at that, the laws have been they've been tweaked somewhat. The former players' boots that you step in about coming away from free kicks, about the multi-ball system, there's a wry kind of look in your face that says that was all part of the game, wasn't it, at one stage?
Of course.
And do you understand it being pushed out?
Yeah, you know, we're touching on the time element, and, you know, 52 minutes in the Championship on average last season, 55 in the Premier League. It's not a lot when people are paying a lot of money to come in and watch games of football. Clearly teams, I think there was it Brentford, I think, last season against Liverpool, there was about 3 minutes between them scoring and I think a player went down injured, and then there was some substitutions. I mean, it's a big chunk of time, so the officials are going to make these changes. But yeah, as players, we've all done that. You know, you try and take the delaying tactics. Goalkeepers, players will be getting bookings now even more. Surrounding officials, they want to clamp down on that as well. Players will get booked. The technical areas as well is another area they're going to come to as well for management and staff. So,
well, they're after the behaviour of managers and staff, aren't they, as well, which I think is a big thing, because it sets the template, doesn't it, for what the fans see and what the players react to.
This level of football's got, we've got a responsibility right through the pyramids to set, and if we don't do it at the top, it's not going to filter down through the pyramids. So I think it's a good step.
Players take responsibility, Clinton, and buy into it all?
Yeah, the players have to buy into it. I wouldn't have liked it, because I love time wasting, and all the managers will be telling you to time wasting. And the thing that gets me is when you score the goal and everyone celebrates, and you're like, and they just scored against you, and you want to get back out there, and you got the goalkeeper running all the way down there, taking 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm all for this new thing. If there's going to have to be 10 minutes of added on time, I love it.
It's anything, of course, that gets us more time in play. I wonder who Russell Martin's on the phone to, Joby.
Well, probably his director of football.
He's probably sorting out tickets, isn't he, for whoever's travelling up from Southampton?
Yeah, trying to work out who he's going to have at the end of this window, because there's obviously a lot of talk about players departing. It's been tough for him to have to deal with this situation. He's spoken about it, you know, in the press, and it will be a different Southampton team that we're looking at once that window's shut, for sure.
Well, this week the EFL launched their official season launch days across the divisions at some very big clubs indeed. Leyton Orient, Wrexham and Sunderland. We took the opportunity to find out a bit more about some of the players and managers involved.
Oh, some ugly guy, some old ugly guy.
Brad Pitt.
Clint Eastwood.
Brian Blessed. What are you laughing at?
We'll go Russell Crowe, Gladiator.
Denzel.
Jason Statham.
Oh, my missus fancies him.
Well, people say I look like Jim Carrey, so I'll say him.
What kind of question is that?
Duck-sized horse would be frightening.
Horse-sized duck.
A horse-sized duck.
A horse-sized duck, because he's not going to be. He's got a big beak and it's not very sharp, whereas loads of little horses could nibble at you.
Horse-sized duck.
Yeah, just the one. Go attack it full steam ahead, try and knock it out early doors.
One horse-sized duck.
Horse-sized duck all day long. Oh, you're saying it's an aggressive duck? It's an aggressive duck.
Very strange, but yeah.
Rod Stewart.
Whitney Houston.
Dolly Parton.
Drake.
Hey, I love a bit of Adele.
Kind of slow romantic songs.
This could kill me, this. I'm going Coldplay. Taylor Swift.
George Michael.
Rock and roll forever. Oh, that's a tough one. Because when he's angry, he's angry. I don't know. Angry partner. Yeah. Means angry manager, means angry chairman anyway. I'll probably go angry missus.
Angry gaffer. I better not say that.
Angry partner all day long.
Angry partner.
Angry partner.
An angry gaffer.
I'll definitely take an angry gaffer, I think.
Angry gaffer.
I've probably got both, actually.
If I have an angry partner, I won't be able to sleep.
Redemption song, Bob Marley.
Oasis Wonderwall.
Oh, pirates.
I sang for my initiation American Pie.
Louis Dunford.
Brown Eyed Girl.
If you've not heard of him, Google it.
American Pie.
Sing it a bit.
No, thank you.
I can't, unfortunately, but you can go on YouTube and check it out, you know.
Oh my God.
I miss the bright side. I have not got a clue.
Barbie.
Barbie, he's all right.
Oppenheimer, I want to see it the other day.
I've only seen Barbie.
Oppenheimer.
With the kids, I hasten to add.
Neither.
I don't know yet, I don't know.
I can't go watch that. 3 hours is far too long. I've not got that time in the day.
When you run a business, great communication is vital.
I'll just transfer you. I think I just cut them off.
Welcome to 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the business phone that's refreshingly easy to use, packed full of features designed to make your business life simpler, and all backed up by our UK-based support team. Find out more at 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Hi.
Hi. Even living this high up, I still like to keep an eye on things, like my golden goose. All this smart tech means I know if someone climbs my beanstalk.
First leg of this playoff semi-final. It's finished Peterborough United 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. It's Smith. That's the goal. Sheffield Wednesday need it. It's dropped to Callum Patterson, who has a look, and it's taken goal into it in. Gregory. James could be in here. It's another one. Headed across the base of goal and in. Popping up Patterson. It's Patterson again. Wembley is waiting. Can Jack Hunt deliver? It's Hunt. He can! Is there time for a winner? Josh Windus! Sheffield Wednesday
certainly great memories for the Wednesday players after the comeback of all comebacks here at Hillsborough against Peterborough, and the late drama, of course, of the playoff final. Despite this, in a club record 96 league points, Darren Moore parted ways this summer by mutual consent. This week, Emma Saunders went to catch up with new Wednesday boss Cisco Munoz at their training ground and was treated to some delightful Sheffield weather.
Cisco, great to see you. Welcome back to England. Welcome back to the rain.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. For me also it's a pleasure.
You've said it's a priority to come back to England, back to the Championship. Why?
Yeah, because the Championship is special. I think the champion here have different things. The player have another. It's near to the Premier League. It's also this season. I think the Championship is maybe not a Championship. Is like a mini Premier League, because have very important teams and big stories in our Championship.
The squad you have inherited, they seem to have an amazing mentality. You saw what they did in the League One playoffs, an amazing turnaround. What did you think?
This is the capacity we have in our squad, and this is I think the most important is what is the mentality we need put in our squad. It's you need fight until the last second. You need work until the last second, and you need belief until the last second. It's this is our mentality, and this is what the values we need in our squad.
It was an unusual situation for you to come in. You know, the manager leaves after promotion. Do you feel a big responsibility to carry on his legacy in some ways?
Always, when you are the manager of the Sheffield Wednesday, is a big responsibility. Right now, my big challenge is enjoy this season. This is what I try to give for myself, because if I'm enjoy, I can give better things for the players.
Your plan, though, with Watford, it was very attacking football with a very compact defence. Can we expect the same with Sheffield Wednesday?
This is what we want.
Right.
This is what I believe. This is what I think is the football, attractive football for everybody. And this is what I try to explain you. It's noise in 3 weeks. You can change everything about the situations. But we need to try the balance try the consistency about both situations. No?
Barry Bannon knows this club very, very well. How important is he to you this season?
He's one of our leadership. He helped me a lot also when I arrived about the different situations, about understand more the contest, and this is one of the important values we have in our dressing room.
An amazing opportunity on Friday night for this team, yourselves, to enjoy yourselves with 30,000 fans at Hillsborough. What kind of emotions do you think you might feel stepping out for the first time?
I can wait for the moment. I can wait for the moment, because it's. I think everybody, all the nationals, stay focused in our game. This is what I try to display for our players. Also about they need to have this balance. They need to give the first minutes with high intensity. Try to give the maximum. But we play in our stadium with our fans. Only we can say thank you, and also try to give the same support they give us.
Back to England and back in the rain for Cisco Munoz. A good spot there talking to Emma Saunders ahead of tonight's game. Now, obviously, he's the new man in charge. Clinton and I were here for the semi-final second leg against Peterborough. Very emotional scenes that we saw between yourself and Darren Moore. You saw then Darren lead the team back into the Championship. How surprised are you that he's not here to start the Championship season with them?
Very surprised. I didn't get it. I didn't get the decision, to be fair. The job he'd done, it was an uphill task. Listen, they started off the season ever so well. Everyone thought they were going to run away with it, and I said it many a times. You have to credit Plymouth and Ipswich. They were outstanding. Sheffield Wednesday had a dip. And then you go into the playoff game, against Peterborough, and you're 4-0 down, and you think there's no chance of getting back in. Darren Moore, brilliant what he done to the lads to galvanise them. They get the result, they go to the playoff final, and they play against a good team, Michael Duff's team, Barnsley, and they get that all-important goal. You think it's going to penalties, went one way or the other, Windass scores the goal, and then you're thinking, build for the summer. He's done ever so well to get them to the Championship. make a big change. And listen, it's disappointing. I know him personally. I know a lot of people on the coaching staff. It's disappointing. I wanted him to be successful at this football club and take them to the next level. But he's moved on. Listen, he'll get another job. I said it earlier. I think he's a fantastic manager. Everyone knows he's a fantastic individual. I think he's a good coach. He'll move on. But you got wish Isco all the best. He's a good manager. He done ever so well at Watford. I thought the style of football that he implemented at Watford was outstanding. I spoke to a lot of players that played under him when he was at Watford, and they said he's a really good manager. So it's disappointing, but you have to look forward now. Darren Moore's time will come again, but good luck to Isco.
Is it a straight line to say, Franny, that he's been brought in to get Sheffield Wednesday promoted to the Premier League? Is that too much of a jump, even though we saw he did exactly the same thing at Watford?
Well, we all know this is a huge football club, you know, and we've seen clubs go down and struggle to come back up. The circumstances which they came up last season were just incredible for this club, weren't they? And they'll be hoping that that momentum can carry on in this first game and in the early part of the season. As Clinton just mentioned, when he was at Watford, he took them up, got them promoted, but then lost his job losing the first 4 of the first 7 games in the Premier League. So, you know, Watford, as we know, make those regular changes, but he's got to come in and try and ride the crest of that wave that they had, the momentum they had from last season. There's been a lot of changes with the staff and Darren Moore going. The head of recruitment has gone to Blackpool, so there's been huge changes on the staff side of things. On the pitch, it's pretty much the same with 1 or 2 tweaks. Was it Ashley Fletcher come in on loan from Watford? So there's obviously sort of like players and, you know, that are coming in and the fees that they're doing there, they've got to do this kind of business. And then we'll probably talk about him a little bit later, but Barry Bannon is going to be one of those pivotal players that's going to be key for their success.
Well, the magic is, Franny, that when you do mention someone like Barry Bannon, we can then go and talk about him, because he is, of course, a very key player for Sheffield Wednesday, as he has been for such a long period of time. Stuck with the club, of course, when they dropped down into League One. Still there leading the charge forward. Undoubtedly a fantastic ball player. The hustle and bustle of what the Championship is, the legs that are needed for the Championship, Joby. Does this season fit him?
I think they have to get that midfield area absolutely spot on. I listened to an interview that he did last week talking about how much he wants to get on the ball and affect the game from that point of view. And he said himself he doesn't like the other side and running back, and that may be one area of his game that certainly as he gets a little bit older is getting away from him a little bit. But you can see here his quality is absolutely unquestionable. By all accounts in pre-season, he's been playing a little bit higher up maybe than he had done. Cisco wants players to keep their positions on the pitch and almost let the ball come to him. You see what he can
anyway,
do.
Doesn't it?
Absolutely. Listen, he has a goal of the season competition every year by himself. You know, he's got that much ability. So I think if they can get him on the ball higher up the pitch, he can certainly still cause teams a lot of problems. What I don't think we'll see a lot of is maybe him going to search for the ball like we did at times last season. A little bit Roy the Rovers stuff at times. You know, he would be the one to go and demand it off that back line, give me the ball, I'm going to go and make something happen. Whereas I think this season we'll see him a little bit more advanced.
That's some serious company there that he's keeping, isn't it, Clinton? And as a striker, you'd love to have played in front of that, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. Look at the names on there: De Bruyne, Gibbs White, Odegaard, and Bruno Fernandes, and then Barry Bannon. But no, I agree with what Joby says. I think he could be playing higher. I think he could play in the number 10 role because it's less running. He's already alluded to he don't want to run back, so you get 2 midfielders that can do his running, and you give him the ball and let him create stuff. But if you're a centre forward, you make runs. But good players can play anywhere, and Barry Bannon is a top player. You've seen some of his goals there. He's scoring spectacular goals, isn't he?
Oh, incredible. Like you said, like goal of the season contenders or goal of the month aren't they easy? But I think when we all get to a stage in our careers, like, what is he, 32, 33 now? You know, I think you start adapting your game a little bit more, don't you? Especially like you start playing with your head that little bit more, and obviously not running around with the young legs quite so much. And technically, he's got the ability to do that, hasn't he?
That's why mine ran out of steam at 32, because I couldn't run around anymore. Anyway, moving swiftly after the break, we're going to focus on the Saints. Last time they were in the Championship was 2012, and safe to say they thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
A day to enjoy, a day of first. The Southampton return to the Championship. It's Hammond. That's a goal! And what a start to the season for the Southampton captain! Chance for another one, and they've got it! Aaron Lallana gets Southampton second. Opportunity here for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰! He's blasted an equalizer! Might think about a shot here, Morgan Schneiderlin. Oh, what a goal that is! It's Lambert. It's a beauty. It's 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It is an enormous step. 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 seals it. Back-to-back promotions to Premier League paradise.
This summer, get Plusnet's full fibre from only £24.
Wide for Sheffield Wednesday, the familiar face of Lee Gregory leads the line for the Owls, and the evergreen Barry Bannon captains the side once again. Well, from the south coast of South Yorkshire for the Saints, Ryan Manning has followed boss Russell Martin from Swansea. He makes his debut. Nathan Tella led up the Championship with Burnley last season. He starts this season for Southampton. And James Ward-Prowse is still a Saint and captains the side this evening. Well, let's hear from the new Saints manager, Russell Martin. He's been speaking with Emma Saul.
Here we go then, Russell, new season. How excited are you for what is a big opportunity with a big club in Southampton?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it's felt like we've been here for a lot longer already. So, but I'm really excited about tonight. We're bringing a huge following. I think the players feel excited about what's to come, and tonight is going to be really interesting. I think we'll learn a lot about ourselves, where we're at, learn a lot about the players, and I'm looking forward to it.
With the Premier League experience you have in this current crop of players, the expectation will be high. What do you think the expectation should be this season? What's the target?
Well, I think everyone's been really clear with it. It's to try and get back to the Premier League as quickly as possible, albeit in a very different way, playing in a very different way. So the players have had to adapt to that. They've been amazing. So whatever level you've played at, when you then have to attempt to do something really different is not easy. But their willingness to take it on, to try new things, has been really brilliant. So I'm hopeful that they will have enough courage to put it into practice on the pitch tonight, and that's what it will come down to, really, for us, is how brave the players want to be in a really good atmosphere in the first game with everyone watching. So it's a really interesting challenge for us. Before we talk about those players on the pitch, I must just mention 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰, who's not in the squad at all tonight. What can you tell us there? Yeah, so Tino was never going to be in the squad, so he trained yesterday morning with a group that aren't involved and aren't here tonight with a few of the injuries because of what's been going on and how close the deal was. So it hasn't changed plans too much because from yesterday morning, really, we kind of envisaged it would be close. So he trained really well yesterday, and then yesterday afternoon, obviously, the clubs agreed a deal. Obviously, Tino will have a medical there and all that stuff, and wish him nothing but the best. I've only worked with him for 5 weeks. I wish he'd had a bit longer, but he's a brilliant young man and an outstanding, really, really top talent. So everyone here wishes him all the best, and hopefully that will all go smoothly.
Russell Martin there, cool, calm and collected ahead of his first game in charge, proper, of course, of Southampton. So, Franny Benali, what type of manager have Southampton now got? And I think we're going to see a distinct change in what they do on the pitch as well, aren't we?
Exactly, Chris. We touched on it earlier. You know, we've seen what he did at Swansea and where he's been before. There's going to be this real football philosophy about playing wherever you are on the pitch. I mean, I was watching the last pre-season game on Saturday, and the ball went back, as I mentioned earlier, and it was like 4 or 5 passes going across the 18-yard box. And this is what we're going to see. He encourages all the players, get on the ball, don't be afraid to sort of get those extra passes in. But it's almost like waiting for that right moment to make the killer pass or that final ball or delivery into the box. And it's heavily possession-based, clearly, but it's also with that closing down and shutting down as well. And it's something that he would like to have worked with the squad more. He's mentioned that himself in the interviews up to this point, so it's going to be a bit of work in progress, but by all accounts, the players are really buying into it.
I always used to think when I used to watch his teams, they'd overplay. I always used to have this debate with they'll overplay and they weren't scoring enough goals. I think with the players that he's got here at Southampton, I think Russell Martin will be really successful. And they're always conceding a lot of goals, but defensively Southampton are good and they do attack ever so well, don't they, Joe?
And this is what I think we need to see from Southampton this season. That cutting edge, we know they're going to keep the ball well. I think that's why Nathan Tella, if they can keep hold of him, is so important. We saw Burnley last season, actually the only team to keep more possession than Swansea over the course of the season, but they had that end product, they had that threat and that real desire to go and hurt teams, and I feel at times Swansea lacked that.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the comparison, obviously the big thing about that comparison, Clint, is the fact that one was in the Premier League and one was in the Championship, isn't it? So there is going to be an adaptation of style, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. But look at Swansea, that in the Championship. You think they'd have finished much higher than that. I know they had a good run to the end of the season, but look at it, the passes and stuff like that. It's fantastic. But that's how Russell Martin's been at all the clubs he's been at. He's a bit, he wants to play that possession-based football, and I think he'll be a success here at Southampton. I really do.
Key potentially, Franny, to what happens between now and the end of the season, between now and the end of the transfer window, is keeping James Ward-Prowse a key figure for Southampton for such a long period of time now. Is it as much what he does on the pitch as he does off the pitch that Southampton need to keep hold of?
He's a fabulous pro. I mean, we know his ability on the football pitch, what he does. He covers more ground than any other player in the team and in the squad. He's a threat from set pieces, clearly. But he's a great pro off the pitch. You know, he's been at the club since a young boy. But clearly, with relegation comes the fact that other teams in the Premier League will come round, and Southampton are doing well. We've seen it with Tino Livramento. If they're not prepared to accept an offer that's not right for the club, they won't sell. But I get this. I just don't get the whole transfer window, though. You know, like how we can be starting the season like tonight, and it goes on for another 3 or 4 weeks, and you can lose half your team potentially. So Russell Martin will be really frustrated, as you touched on, Joby. I think. What will he be working with at the end of the month?
Where's the trade-off between trying to maximise what you can get for a player, which I absolutely get, and actually getting that business done so that Russell Martin can crack on, he can play the players? You've got Shea Charles on the bench today, brought him in for a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing this season. Everyone knows that. James Ward-Prowse will leave. So I think from that point of view, there's a decision that has to be made. Yes, you want to get your value, but you've got to give Russell Martin the best opportunity of succeeding this
Sure,
season.
yeah, and there's a lot of talent in this squad, isn't there? You know, like looking at the lineups, if you took 2 or 3 players out, let's say it was Ward-Prowse and 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, 2 players linked with moves clearly, we're a little bit light in that area. So I think money that is generated would definitely have to be used to bring other faces in if they did go.
Well, quite clearly getting pumped here, pitch side, and as you can tell, in here and outside, the atmosphere is building as well.
You've got to take the positives from the end of last season and just roll with it.
Pumped up, yeah, ready for it, yeah. Fingers crossed. That's all I'm going to do at this stage.
It's important that we got someone who's managed in league before. I mean, everyone was sad when Moore left, but, you know, he's got a chance to prove that he's better, you know.
I'm hoping for at least a top 10 finish for us. The new players look extremely exciting, and I'm so excited to say I'm back at Hillsborough.
You know, we're the big fish in a small pond this season, so Sheffield Wednesday, good famous old team, but we have got to come here and get 3 points. But we know we didn't win many games last season, so let's hope we get a few more this time round.
It's going to be a cracker. Looking forward to the championship. Quite glad we've gone down, actually.
At National Express, we offer great value fares to hundreds of destinations. So whatever you feel like doing,
Sergio!
from only 120.
Free credit, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Insurance is included.
𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 of July, with the passing of two great men synonymous with Owl's success, former boss and colleague of us here at Sky Sports, Trevor Francis, and the charismatic Chris Bart-Williams, a former teammate of mine, both gone far too early and both will be sadly missed.
The season is finally here, and those opinions keep on coming.
We'll be having your boy Chris. You're forgetting our manager, the master in Europe. Master!
Mate, this graffiti talks more sense to you. You are dreaming, big leagues. We've got no chance this year.
Listen, signings are key. You get them right, the title's ours.
Absolutely no chance.
Whatever your opinion, at Sky Bet you can get a completely free bet to kick off your football season. Sky Bet, that's betting better.
Take a look at this. We have missed this so much between the end of last season and, of course, the beginning of this. Russell Martin saluting the hardy Southampton fans that have travelled up from the south coast on this Friday evening into the bear pit that is Hillsborough. It is one of the noisiest stadiums you will see in English football. Joby McEnroe, Franny Bannon and Clinton Morrison are alongside me here. And Clinton, you just said it's nights like this that you really do miss running around.
Yeah, definitely. I remember chasing some of your bad boys used to put in the channel, but now the atmosphere, perhaps, I miss it. It's brilliant. You look at this, you see the fans and stuff. You see Russell Martin going over to the away fans, the fans there, the atmosphere. You do miss nights like this, and you wish you were still playing, don't you?
This was always a big one. First game of the season, you know, all the anticipation, the excitement. You've done your hard work in pre-season, and the optimism of starting a brand new season, particularly under the lights at a fantastic stadium like this. And certainly for us tonight, I think we're in for a magical night.
I think my studs are still in the pitch, like from when players like Chrissy Waddle were like turning them inside out. So,
the pitch wasn't like this, though, was it?
No. It looks immaculate, doesn't it? But what a venue, what an atmosphere to play in.
That's the sign of things potentially to come for Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it? The return to the glory days, Franny.
Of course, I mean, that's going to be the aim, I'm sure. But, you know, I think realistically, you know, the supporters love Darren Moore and what they achieved last season, but this is a new campaign now. They'll just want to probably just consolidate being in the Championship and then maybe kick on from there.
Well, of course, it's a brand new season, a glorious blank page with new hope, renewed optimism and the prospect of something magical happening come May. The hard work starts right now as the starting pistol sounds on the 46-game marathon that is the Sky Bet Championship. And I'm delighted to say a very happy new season. Doug Goodman and first, Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, David. Time for footballers all over this land to rise up again. Time for cities and towns to start dreaming again. This is the EFL, the original and the best, and this could be the best yet. Unparalleled, unpredictable, unmissable, and for some, greatness awaits. A wall of sound, a roar That signals that the championship is back on this side of Sheffield. On to the Wednesday team, and Chile international 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 makes his Wednesday debut following his move from Portuguese side Paços de Ferreira. Josh Windas's goal took this club back to the championship in May. He's been playing wide left in pre-season, but he may go up front tonight, as Wednesday could switch to a midfield diamond and a front two. It was Barry Bannon's destiny to lead Wednesday back to the second tier. That's why he stayed here. He begins his 9th season here. It's 5 substitutes from 9 now. Ashley Fletcher is one of Wednesday's new signings on their bench. Well, James Ward-Prowse starts for Southampton. He has been a wanted man elsewhere, with West Ham knocking on Southampton's door, but right now he remains a Saint. Nathan Tella helped inspire Burnley's return to the Premier League last season with 19 goals. Now he's looking to do the same with his parent club. There's a debut for Ryan Manning, who's followed Russell Martin from South Wales to the South Coast. Romeo Lavia, who's on Liverpool's wanted list, is on the bench, as is new signing Shea Charles. Cisco Munoz is standing on the shoulders of a giant as he picks up the baton from Darren Moore, the man who led Sheffield Wednesday back to the championship, and he knows the way out of this league. He's done it before with Watford. Southampton came calling for Russell Martin's services. He duly opened the door and jumped at the chance, and he's embracing the pressure of trying to take the Saints back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Ping-pong Chansiri was hoping he would oversee championship football again here, and he will be watching on tonight. Of course, the manager that took them here is no longer here. But Cisco Munoz is a bundle of energy, a dynamic character. The players have enjoyed working under him so far. And Sheffield Wednesday, who gave us so many dramatic moments at the end of last season, are ready to go again. Will Hawks having his say. Nathan Tella, the man who helped inspire Burnley's rise back to the Premier League last season. Now Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton will pay tribute to Trevor Francis and Chris Bart-Williams. Chris was a key part of the Wednesday team in his 4 years at the club. Scored a hat-trick in the Premier League against tonight's opponent Southampton in 1993, an FA Cup and League Cup runner-up, loved by all of the clubs he played for. As for Trevor, he's a footballing icon, a player and manager here at Wednesday. He made his name at his beloved Birmingham, the first £1 million player when he moved to Forest, and for us at Sky Sports, a brilliant, brilliant person to work with. Wednesday and Southampton paying tribute to Chris Bart-Williams and to Trevor Francis. So, opening night in the Championship, the most unique league on this planet. A heartbreaking fall into the lower leagues at one end, life-changing riches at the other. Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton have seen both. 3 months ago, they were on different planets. Now, their worlds collide. For Southampton, a soul-destroying relegation. As for Sheffield Wednesday, the most dramatic escape from League One that there's ever been in the playoffs. They played 330 minutes of playoff football back in May. They led for 5 seconds of playing time. The last 5 seconds. Incredible, though.
Oh, well, I mean, we were there all the way with them, weren't we? 2 semi-finals and a final, and there were large spells of it where you just couldn't see it happening. But miracles do happen in football.
Well, in 9 months' time, some will have changed their lives. For others, their worst fears will have been realised. The journey starts here on this August night in South Yorkshire. Everyone starts as equals. Everything is possible.
Well, this is the time of the season, isn't it, where all fans can dream. Dreams still alive. Fascinating championship season in store. 7 of the 24 with new managers, 2 of them here, and of course one of the biggest things when you're a new manager or coach at a new club is to get off to a good start. You get the buy-in from the fans, the players, the owners, and it makes life a lot easier. So both of these new head coaches will be desperate to get 3 points here.
Nathan Teller running into trouble. Barry Bannon hunted down quickly. Munoz was the intended target there. Vaux thought he was impeded. 65 seconds gone. The championship's back. There's Walker Peters, who has benefited from 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's move to Newcastle, which hasn't been sealed yet, but is in the process of being done. Walker Peters was switched to left back because 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was doing so well in the right back position, but now Walker Peters back in his more natural position.
He's one of many, I think, Premier League standard players that Southampton have in their ranks. The question is, how many of them will be there when the championship window slams shut?
Well, earlier this week, Russell Martin had to change his team that he had in mind for tonight because of 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's expected departure. So he had to change it once. He was thinking he may have to change it again. But in the end, he hasn't had to. But that is what he's having to deal with, as managers will have to deal with up and down the country until the window shuts.
Not easy. Not easy. Double-barreled, isn't it? You've got the disappointment of losing on a regular basis last season. You've got to lift your players up. You're a new coach. You've got to get them to buy into your new methods. You've also got players that really don't want to be there. And that's why it can be difficult for clubs relegated from the Premier League.
Well, Spetnerek, who's down here, and Bobby Madley has brought play to a halt.
He has an awkward landing, doesn't he? Comes over the back of Lee Gregory and lands flat on his back.
Well, you wonder what the future holds for James Ward-Prowse, 28 years of age, reaching his peak years. West Ham have been calling, but as of yet, Southampton have not opened the door, and they're looking for around about a package worth £50 million to Romeo Lavia to leave with Liverpool at the front of the queue, it would seem.
They're in a nice position, aren't they? A little bit like Brighton in the Premier League, where they don't have to sell to keep the club afloat.
Here goes Windass, who has played in this left-sided role throughout pre-season. Ehekwe. Iorfa. Ehekwe again. Just a huge chunk of last season with a knee injury, but was back with a dramatic finish. Nicely done by Barry Bannon. There's Patterson. Gregory waiting in the middle. Was real flurry forward from Sheffield Wednesday. It's Bannon, it's across the face of goal. How does the referee see that as the shot is thrashed in and Gregory looks to spin? Then it's Patterson. Wednesday turning up the hit.
Well, it all started with a beautiful piece of play in the middle of the pitch from Barry Bannon. Goes away from that Southampton midfield, and as he normally does, picks the right pass. It's a decent delivery. Southampton have to get bodies in the way, not really convincing defending. Ultimately, they keep their goal intact. That just all of a sudden brought this Hillsborough crowd into this game. Lewis Stevens, who has just signed a 2-year deal to stay at Southampton. It looked like he was on the way out in the last campaign when he was on loan at Bournemouth. We'll see plenty of this short passing from Southampton under Russell Martin. They have looked good at times in pre-season. He feels he's got a lot more pace in this Southampton team than he had in this Swansea side last season. Adam Armstrong. Stevens. Alcaraz. Manning stepping forward. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰, player that Russell Martin is really excited about. Ward-Prowse. Walker-Peters. There's Nathan Tella. Stevens. Two Southampton centre-backs have stepped forward into the Wednesday half as Southampton look to try and pen Sheffield Wednesday in here. And they've managed to force the first corner of the contest there. They've just appointed a new set-piece coach, Andreas Charleston, Southampton, to Arsenal and Brentford. Well, and they've got arguably one of the best deliverers of a dead ball in the world. Ward-Prowse with that delivery. Gregory getting there in front of Patterson, but Alcaraz sends it back in for Southampton. Edozie. Ward-Prowse. There's Backinson trying to lead the breakout for Sheffield Wednesday, but Southampton step in to win the ball back again. Well, I think the tone of the game has been set, hasn't it, really? Southampton are going to dominate possession. They're going to be on the front foot, but play a really, really high line, and Sheffield Wednesday will want to try and exploit that. Walker-Peters. Tella, he might fancy this. He did fancy it, and that's why. Well, he wouldn't leave Championship defences alone last season, and Nathan Tella is gunning for them again. Well, if you're Sheffield Wednesday, you've got every right not to expect this. This is a right-footed player, Nathan Tella. You'll probably back your goalkeeper to take care of any kind of situation like this, but such is the brilliance, the accuracy, the power, the bend. This is a stunner, and it's a continuation for Nathan Tella of last season where he was on fire. That is an absolute beauty. I always felt with Sheffield Wednesday, first goal may be important. Well, they've just conceded it, and what a beauty it was. Well, we've seen him do it before, and it reminds you also of Manuel Benson, his teammate at Burnley last season, who scored goal after goal from a similar kind of position with a similar shape. And Russell Martin embraces Nathan Tella, just the start that Russell Martin was dreaming about as Southampton manager. The 3,000 Southampton fans to our left in absolute raptures. Well, of course, you can't get too carried away when you're ahead against Sheffield Wednesday these days. This is true. Might need one or two more, if that's what you're saying. But it's been a really positive start by Southampton, capped by that goal from Nathan Tella. And here they come again. Walker-Peters stepping inside from his full-back position. Tella keeping the width and coming inside again now. Walker-Peters digs that cross out, an important header away by Iorfa. Yeah, they need to find a way to get hold of the football here, Sheffield Wednesday. Completely dominated now, territorially, with the ball. Southampton look sharp, they look busy, they look in business. these passing numbers, it shouldn't really surprise you.
Well, here they come again, and it's Ryan Manning this time, seen off by Heckway, always a difficult one, and then James Ward-Prowse with the effort, kept out by Dawson.
Well, I'm looking at the technical area, and I'm looking at Cisco Munoz, and he's saying calm down. His team haven't really settled here. They're being dominated. Not the start he would have dreamt of last night.
But he will have known that Southampton want to play this way under Russell Martin, and there's the aggression to try and win the ball back again from Southampton, who've got the free kick.
It's been a difficult start. They've had the one moment, haven't they, where there was a bit of ping-pong in the Southampton penalty area, but that's been it from a Sheffield Wednesday perspective.
Bednarek. Walker-Peters to Smallbone, to Walker-Peters again. Teller once more. Teller is almost beautifully done, but seen off in the end by Famewo. There's no way out right now for Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton have a man down on this near side of the pitch. It's Nathan Teller who is receiving treatment off the pitch right now.
He does get caught in the face as he tries to nutmeg Famewo.
Ward-Prowse. There's Stevens. Now Manning as Teller returns to the action. A late challenge, but the referee's seen and played the advantage. Armstrong giving chase to this. Walker-Peters. This is reminiscent of Burnley on opening night at Huddersfield last season. Lovely spin from Armstrong, but seen off for now. But the way Southampton are playing, knocking the ball around, their patterns of play, Sheffield Wednesday are trying to keep them at arm's length.
Yeah, Lee Gregory is completely isolated. Sheffield Wednesday, they can't get the ball, they can't get out.
Walker-Peters again in a central position, away by Iorfa, and Barry Bannon looking to try and help his team out here, but there's no way out.
Oh, they're so deep. Southampton are playing a really high line, but they just haven't got that pace in those forward areas to offer a threat, really. And you wondered, didn't you? Oldest team in League One last season. You wondered how they'd cope physically, dynamically, mobility against the high caliber teams that are in the Championship this season.
Walker-Peters on the run again. Teller trying to hold his line this time. Walker-Peters. Intelligent run by Ward-Prowse into a great area as well. Away by Iorfa. Sheffield Wednesday are on the ropes here. Ward-Prowse. Teller. Cisco Munoz down below us is trying to get his Sheffield Wednesday team up the pitch to engage Southampton further up the pitch.
He's going to have to change something. Cannot allow this to continue, because it will be 2, might even be 3 or even 4 if this doesn't change sometime soon. Total dominance.
Stevens. Now Bednarek. Had a renaissance at Southampton since he arrived back from his loan spell at Aston Villa last season. Walker-Peters. Teller. Ward-Prowse. He gets it back. Ward-Prowse with the cross. Adozie was beaten to it by Patterson. It's Manning. And Dawson gets down to it, and the chance for Wednesday to have a bit of a breather.
Yeah, they need to slow it down. Cameron Dawson needs to take as much time as he can here. And you can see the Sheffield Wednesday defenders. The theory before the game was they want to pass the ball out from the goalkeeper. Defenders are looking for it. Not really comfortable having it, but talk about total domination on your own patch. And let's remind ourselves, Sheffield Wednesday haven't lost a league game here in the last 19, but they are being bossed.
There's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Martin was appointed by Southampton because of his style of play. He took Swansea to within 3 points of the playoffs last season, finishing 10th, outperforming their budget. But it's the style of play which is what has attracted Southampton to him. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, goes in low that time.
Well, there's one thing that does need to be different from his Swansea tenure and from his MK Dons tenure, and that's the defensive side of it. They were very poor defensively, Swansea, and the MK Dons conceded way too many goals, and history tells you in order to get promoted out of this league you've usually got one of the more solid defences.
Ward-Prowse with the delivery, helped on its way by Gregory. More frustration for Sheffield Wednesday as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is fouled, but that will carry through to Cameron Dawson. But it is a change of style for Southampton, who've done so much of their work in recent years on what they do against the ball, off the ball, the high press, and Russell Martin wants to keep that side of the game because that's how Swansea played, but now he wants them to dominate possession too.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. This Southampton, regardless of who leaves before the transfer deadline, they have got one of the strongest squads in this league, without question.
Wednesday rumbling forward, it's Patterson. Gregory again waiting in the middle. The ball doesn't reach him as it's swept away by Stevens. Delgado. There's Barry Bannon. Patterson. 3 in the box for Sheffield Wednesday. Barry Bannon again.
It's the first bit of positive play for some time, isn't it? Once the ball goes back, you can hear the groans around us. Difficult for Sheffield Wednesday fans. They would have come into this game full of optimism, but they've seen the difference between League One and what last season was a poor Premier League team, but are going to be one of the best Championship teams. There is a gulf.
The goal scorer, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. So Walker-Peters. It's Ward-Prowse, now Smallbone, and had a fabulous time at Stoke City last season, a player that Russell Martin did try to sign for Swansea. Alcaraz. Smallbone again. Walker-Peters. Inverted fullbacks from Russell Martin. Walker-Peters on one side, then Ryan Manning stepping in from the other.
Sheffield Wednesday, every player behind the ball except Lee Gregory. And even if they do get it, Gregory has been completely isolated.
Stevens, Manning. Barry Bannon's just thrown his arms out in a little bit of frustration, I think, or maybe he's trying to point something out to the referee. But in the meantime, this is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 who just runs out of pitch.
Yeah. There's that pace, there's that dynamism I was talking about. Maybe something Sheffield Wednesday are lacking in this moment in time. But brilliant footwork, and just a heavy touch there. Danger over, but nice and positive. Talk about positive. How positive was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰? Absolutely wonderful, wonderful left-footed strike. And it may take a nick off Armstrong, you know.
Well, here comes Sheffield Wednesday with Gregory. Now Barry Bannon. Delgado, the Chile international, will try and retrieve it, but the ball bounces behind. Better though from Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, I wonder if Adam Armstrong is going to claim a goal here.
Would you claim this, Tom?
Yes. It just brushes off the top of his head. It's unfortunate because all the work is tellers, but it's a goal scorer.
Well, look forward to that conversation. By the way, if that is going to go down as Adam Armstrong's goal, it's his 99th senior goal, so that could get interesting as the night goes on. There's Walker-Peters. Now Teller. Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz, who was one of those January signings last season for Southampton who did make an impact. Walker-Peters, Teller, Akin Famewo in the way for Wednesday. Heckway scuffed that, but it reaches Dawson. Wednesday have switched to a back four under Cisco Munoz. They mainly played a back three under 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 last season. Famewo, Windass, Smallbone will pick up the baton for Southampton.
We saw something very, very similar this time last season, didn't we? One Friday night at Huddersfield. Burnley came to town, an unknown quantity, a new head coach, lots of changes, young players. He put on a show. It looks very similar at the moment. Absolutely thrilled.
He had 3 job offers in the summer. Russell Martin, he felt he had to accept the Southampton one because there was a bit more substance to it, and because they liked what they saw with his style of play, and he liked what he heard from them, because he knows his style of play can wind up a few for whatever reason. There's Alcaraz. Alcaraz never turns down the opportunity to shoot.
Well, he was one of the standout signings for Southampton last season. Just 13 starts, 4 goals in a terrible, poor Premier League team. But that's the reason why. Good feet, an eye for a goal. It's all a bit too easy, isn't it? Doesn't get closed down. He's disappointed. He hasn't hit the target there.
So Martin's learning Spanish so he can communicate with Carlos Alcaraz, or Charlie Alcaraz as he likes to be known. Here is Alcaraz again. Walker-Peters. And Sheffield Wednesday are unable to spend any quality time with the ball right now. Opening weekend of the championship season. Plenty to come in the next couple of days. There's Walker-Peters. Course by Windass.
Yeah, it's a late one. Josh Windass. There must be so much frustration out there in the blue and white stripes. Talking to Bobby Madley. Doesn't want to get the yellow cards out, but it's the lunge.
There's Ward-Prowse inevitably standing over this. Stevens waiting on the far side of the box. Manning is also standing over it, but it was always going to be Ward-Prowse. Away by Patterson. Alcaraz runs into trouble initially, but then keeps going. That time it was Gregory who stood his ground.
A wicked delivery, isn't it, as you'd expect from James Ward-Prowse. Gonna get another opportunity here from a corner, but the whip and the bend, it's impossible for a goalkeeper to come and try and deal with. Difficult for defenders.
He's on set-piece duty again here. Dawson gets a punch on it. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with the ambitious effort.
Well, Russell Martin has just turned away, not happy with that decision from Samuel 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, and rightly so. It's a poor choice.
There was a little bit of afters inside the box as well, and Alcaraz involved in that. The referee just getting between him and Will Vaux. Cisco Munoz also wants to play out from the back and also dominate possession, but Sheffield Wednesday have been unable to in the opening 26 minutes here.
Like I said, this is a completely different prospect to Watford, who had international players, Premier League seasoned players, like 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, João Pedro, Troy Deeney, Andre Gray was there. List goes on. Just had so much ability, but what he did do, Cisco Munoz, we've made him really, really solid. Teams really struggled to score against them, and he's going to have to find a way of bringing that solidity at this level to Sheffield Wednesday. They were solid last year in League One, but it's relentless. Look, just can't get the football, and they're not used to that.
Yellow card shown the way of Adam Armstrong.
Can't get away with this anymore. If you do this and a referee doesn't give you a yellow card, the referee will be in trouble this season. It's been heavy on this, kicking the ball away and wasting time. And there's no need for it, is there? His team are in total control.
Well, don't forget they're going to be a bit more stricter with the timekeeping as well this season.
Yeah. Well, listen, what's just happened is Adam Armstrong has gone on. Lee Gregory did nudge the ball away, literally nudged it 2 yards. And as I said, referees, they are going to give you a yellow card, and players are going to have to learn, and they're going to have to learn very, very quickly. I mean, is it really worth it? You've got to ask yourself. Watch this, Lee Gregory. Watch this now. Is that worth a yellow card? I'm talking about from Lee Gregory's perspective, because these players know that they'll get a yellow card for that this season. They have been told.
Stevens. This is what Russell Martin likes to see. One of his deepest players just being patient with the ball, agitating the opposition to step out of their shape and then try and hit the space they leave. Bazunu, Stevens, Manning, Bednarek. Oh, saw it coming, but this is Smallbone. Now Ward-Prowse. Walker-Peters. There's Manning, who turned down Premier League offers to move to Southampton. He's picked out 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, who was matched stride for stride by Patterson. Iorfa just about digs his heels in.
They're under pressure, they just can't get out, not being given a moment's peace, and they're panicking when they do get the ball.
Well, it was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 who was caught that time. Another card on the way for Callum Patterson this time.
Well, again, pull the player back. You will see a yellow card all day long for this kind of challenge. Can't get away with that this season. does a job wherever he plays. Callum Paterson, whether it's right back, central midfield, striker. But he and his teammates have been up against it in the opening half hour here.
Yeah. James Ward-Prowse territory. I mean, if you're a goalkeeper, you wouldn't expect to be beaten from that angle and that distance. However, if there's one player that can do it, it's him.
Well, it's a four-man wall. Ronald Koeman always taught James Ward-Prowse to go for the third man from the left from this kind of situation, because normally goalkeepers can't get to it if he hits it over the third man from the left as he looks. Basically, Ronald Koeman taking credit for James Ward-Prowse's free-kick prowess. But why not?
I would too, if I could.
It is Ward-Prowse. Did he hit the third man? Manning. Walker-Peters. Moving away from Gregory. Into Armstrong. Famewo gets the better of Kyle Walker-Peters.
They get the ball and they've got to play a Hollywood pass to get out. That's the problem. They're so deep. They haven't got anybody that can hurt Southampton in behind, stretch the game. Could be a problem going forward.
There's Nathan Teller. Incidentally, Opta have awarded the goal to Adam Armstrong.
Scandalous. Scandalous.
Maybe not one he'll look back on with great pride, but a goal's a goal, and it's number 99 of his senior career. There's Manning. Edozie. Smallbone. He's played that deeper line midfield position really well in pre-season, Will Smallbone. Edozie. Sheffield Wednesday deal with it. But again, it's coming back at them. However, this time they get the free kick for a foul on Gregory.
Yeah, it was a difficult ball for Lee Gregory. He's done well to use his body, his experience, just to draw the foul.
Wednesday were record breakers last season. The club record 96 points in League One, which, as we know, wasn't good enough to take them up automatically in the end. But they got there. However, this has been some welcome to the championship so far. Barry Bannon. Stevens steps in, but here's 𝓤𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 into the path of Paterson. 3 to his left. Paterson with the cross, and they're retreating, and Nathan Teller gets to it. And 𝓤𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 flying across his goal. He looked to be a little bit concerned from Backinson's effort. No problems in the air.
Well, it's about the most sort of heart flutters that anybody connected with Southampton has had, isn't it, really? It's an ambitious effort, too far away, it's a decent effort. Quite sure Southampton will be more than happy if Sheffield Wednesday resorted to shooting from there.
That's given the Wednesday fans, though, a little bit more encouragement. This has been a difficult opening 35 minutes. There's Barry Bannon dropping deep to get on the ball, and that's why as he tries to ping that pass to Gregory. But Barry Bannon has been playing higher up the pitch in pre-season, which means he hasn't seen as much of the ball as he would have liked to have done.
Yeah, I think he's trying to change it there. I think on the pitch he seems to be dropping a little bit deeper to try and get on the ball. At least you know with him that he can keep the ball, pick a pass.
He's dropping deep and demanding the ball here again, Barry Bannon. ideally, Cisco Munoz would prefer him to play and stay a little bit higher up the pitch and wait for the ball to come to him, but it's not been coming to him. Famewo. Southampton calling for the offside flag. The assistant referee, Julie, obliges. Well, we've got 3 huge games for you on Sunday. Leicester start life back in the Championship against Coventry, who are a penalty shootout away from the Premier League. See that Sunday, 11:30. Then we're off to Ellen Road. Leeds against Cardiff City. Jason Wilcox, the Southampton director of football, his old club Leeds against Cardiff, 2:15 on Sunday. And then we're off to Wearside. Sunderland, who made the playoffs, against Ipswich, who won promotion. 4:45, Sky Sports Football. This is Teller. Flowers with the cross. Smallbone will leave it to Manning, who was robbed of it by Juan Delgado. Manning commits the foul, accepts his fate as he moves away from the incident.
He's going to get a yellow card as well. Can't have any complaints. What Josh Windass is complaining about, Bobby Madley's got the yellow card out. The ball back drives Delgado, and then it's cynically fouled.
So a booking for Ryan Manning.
It's a set piece. It's one just inside your own half and central, but this is an area that I thought Sheffield Wednesday could actually cause Southampton 1 or 2 problems. They struggled last year, Southampton, from set pieces.
Yeah, the 3rd smallest team in the Premier League last season, Southampton. Set pieces were a problem for them, but that one wasn't.
But that's the best opportunity in terms of a set piece, isn't it? They haven't had anything wide, they haven't had corners. It's just been a real baptism of fire back in the Championship for them.
That's Teller. Now Bednarek. This is Alcaraz. Manning. Dozy keeping the width on the far side of the pitch for Southampton. Just like Teller is on this side of the pitch, and the 2 fullbacks are stepping in field to add to the numbers in midfield. One of those is Walker-Peters. Nathan Teller. Walker-Peters again. Patterson deals with it. Into Dozy. We've got plenty of game time under Nathan Jones last season, but then game time was limited under Ruben Sellers. Kyle Walker-Peters. Armstrong trying to link up with Ward-Prowse. As they have dealt with the danger for now. Backinson.
Just everything's under pressure, isn't it, for Sheffield Wednesday? Nothing is comfortable or easy at the moment.
Heckway, straight to Teller. Walker-Peters. Smallbone, who did make a really good impression in pre-season last season for Southampton, but ended up going out on loan to Stoke.
Ward-Prowse, Stevens, Smallbone. Cisco Munoz down below us in conversation with his technical staff, who have to stay by the bench now. Only one member of the management team is allowed at the front of the technical area. Another thing which the officials will be keeping an eye on. Dawson gathers that one.
Well, I think the best thing you can say from his perspective is that they're only one goal down, because they have had a bit of a schooling here on their own patch. Southampton have been excellent. You have to give them credit.
Dejphon Chansiri was forced into that change in the summer, and he felt he offered what he could to then manager Darren Moore, but Darren Moore didn't feel it really represented his value and worth and what he'd done for the football club. He wasn't asking for the world, but the two in the end just couldn't come to an agreement, which is why the change was made. But Darren Moore did not want to leave Sheffield Wednesday. He wanted to lead Wednesday into the Championship this season. They couldn't come to an agreement on the contract, and ultimately Cisco Munoz, as I mentioned earlier on, has stood on the shoulders of a giant here, a man who brought Sheffield Wednesday alive again, and now Cisco Munoz has picked up the baton.
It's the second challenge Dean Windass has made on Kyle Walker-Peters. Actually, if he was lucky to get away with the first one, he's really lucky not to see a yellow card for maybe an accumulation of those two. Probably see a yellow card for the next one.
Just going back to Darren Moore, he'll be waiting for that next call,
and it won't be far away. I think his stock is high, and rightly so. He did a brilliant job here.
Teller, he fancies it again. Didn't get the first one, did he? Because Adam Armstrong has claimed that one. And ultimately, the officials have given the corner.
Well, took his time, Bobby Madley. Is he right here? Concentrates, works it out. Ooh, I don't know about that. Difficult one. Southampton players really appealing.
Well, you can hear what the Wednesday fans think, as Southampton moved the corner short this time. Adozi. And there's trouble for Sheffield Wednesday off the line brilliantly. It was, I think, Patterson who retreated and made that block. He feared the worst and he dealt with it.
To Dozi's pace again, not from this short, it just goes past players as if they're not there. Sheffield Wednesday can't get it away, it breaks. Stevens, isn't it? Ends up with a final strike. Look at Callum Patterson's positioning there, that's excellent work from Callum Patterson.
Delgado has found it difficult getting into this game so far. It's been a difficult night for he and his teammates so far.
I was going to say, how can he shine when his team haven't got the ball? Not really providing a threat. They're being completely dominated by, as you pointed out earlier on, there was 2 divisions between these two teams last season, and it's really evident in this opening half. Darren Moore built the perfect team to thrive in League One, but you knew with the age of this squad, maybe the lack of mobility, that there were going to have to be big changes no matter who was in charge. He knew that. He wasn't given the chance to make those changes.
This is Nathan Teller. Ward-Prowse. Interesting to see how much time is about to be added. The officials are being stricter with the timekeeping this season.
Yeah, you normally only see 1 or 2 minutes at half-time, don't you? But I suspect we're going to see more this time.
Adozi looking to cause problems again. 6 additional minutes.
The fourth officials indicating that
told you. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Well, every Sheffield Wednesday player behind the ball, so when they win it back, what are they going to do with it? That's the problem that they've got here. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 hits the deck. Delgado claims his innocence, but he is yellow carded. He's claiming it's a dive, but it didn't look like a dive. He stands on his toe. Painful ones, then. And the referee spotted it. Great positioning from Bobby Madley. I'm not sure it's deliberate, so I'm not sure it's worthy of a yellow card. He certainly doesn't think it is. Yeah, fifth yellow card of the first half. We did know that we would see more yellow cards this season because of what the officials are clamping down on. Two of them for kicking the ball away. So James Ward-Prowse is spotting this up for Southampton. Wednesday are looking to stand their ground before the break. James Ward-Prowse tested Dawson. Another free kick on target, but no way past the Wednesday keeper. I think Cameron Dawson half read it, didn't he? Knew exactly where it was going. Catch in practice. There's Bannon. That's Patterson. They just haven't been able to get going in the attacking third. It wasn't really rocket science how they got the success last season, Sheffield Wednesday, was it really? They had Barry Bannon pulling strings to get the ball out wide, get lots and lots of crosses. More than any other team, more headed attempts at goal than any other team in League One. So it was simple, get the ball out wide, get bodies into the penalty area, cross it, try and get on the end of it or pick the pieces up. That's going to get you success at League One, but it's not going to get you success in the Championship. And that's the reason Cisco Munoz is trying to change it. Well, also a new one for this season, the fans can keep an eye on the additional time, so the clocks in the stadia will carry on ticking, whereas in the past they've stopped at 45 and 90 minutes, but now the additional time will be shown, and also the time will carry on, so the supporters know exactly what minute of the game and additional time they are in. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. There's Walker-Peters. Looking at the bench, seeing how Sheffield Wednesday can change the course of this game. Maybe introduction of Michael Smith is possible, isn't it? Or Ashley Fletcher, two big lads, or bigger than Lee Gregory. Probably physical presence is potential. But certainly Cisco Munoz is going to have to do something here. He has a promotion on his CV with Watford. He was dispensed with at the start of the next season in the Premier League. He was Watforded, if you like. After that, he headed off to manage for a short spell in Spain and in Cyprus. But he always wanted to come back to the English game. He says there is other football and there is English football. But this has been a difficult half for him to watch so far. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Backed up by Manning.
Ball stolen away from Alcaraz. Gregory trying to make something of that, but Gavin Bazunu in the Southampton goal has matters in hand. Difficult half for Lee Gregory, hasn't it? As I said, so isolated. His team haven't had any of controlled, meaningful possession. There's Nathan Teller. Running at 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's got Walker-Peters on the outside. Elects to find Ward-Prowse. Now 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. There's Gregory. That's where the ball has to try and stick for Sheffield Wednesday. 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's done well to retain the ball for the home team. Played at Gymnastic in Spain when Cisco Munoz was the assistant manager there, so that's the connection between the two. Windass. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Armstrong is after Dawson. Patterson. 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 giving chase. Southampton finished 11 points adrift of safety last season. The dreaded drop followed. But this, so far, has been the perfect start to life in the Championship and life for Southampton manager for Russell Martin. Nathan Teller striking a goal, but it's gone down as Adam Armstrong's goal. It took a nick off him to find the back of the net. Southampton have been dominant in the first 45 minutes here at the break. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Southampton 1.
Good one, and it's good. It's fortunate. It's unlucky for Sheffield Wednesday. It's fortunate for Southampton, but it was brilliant play from Teller, as Joby said. But yeah, he should be claiming that. That's our centre forwards. That's an extra 6-7 goals a season.
Freddie, you were very keen to point out there'd be a stylistic change for Southampton this season. Have we seen a fair bit of that in the first half?
Most definitely, Prutz, and it's causing Sheffield Wednesday a real problem, isn't it? I mean, it's the two defenders at the back, Bednarek and Stevens, so it's a 2-3-2-3 almost, and then the rotation of the players as well, the inverted fullbacks. Walker-Peters is in, we've got Bannon on the other side, and then if they can't play forward, they're just patient, they go back, they get extra passes in. They're almost waiting for Sheffield Wednesday, one of the players, to come out and make a little nip, and then they'll make little runs in behind the defence, or Adam Armstrong will make a little run into the gap that's created. But Will Smallbone is almost being that point of the diamond of the three in the middle. It's caused Wednesday real problems.
Certainly work then for the home side to get themselves back into this game, because it's quite clear the marker that Southampton have laid down. It was there to tell a shot, a little deflection from Adam Armstrong that ends in a huge smile for his manager at half-time. Saints 1-0 up at Hillsborough.
Who said?
And it's Southampton! What a present for Leeds United! It's remained Sawyers through the crowd, and then this is Cardiff's Castle! It's a lovely header, a super Sunderland goal!
Will it drop to Chaplin? Connor Chaplin pushing Ipswich back towards the championship.
Championship triple header coming our way on Sunday. Title favourites Leicester host playoff beaten finalists Coventry. Leeds United go again. They have Cardiff in town, and playoff semi-finalists Sunderland take on new boys Ipswich. There's also action from the 100 going on right now. This is David Willey smashing this six for Welsh Fire down at the Ageas Bowl in Southampton. They're taking on Southern Brave. That's going on right now, Sky Sports 100. It kicks off once again north of the border over the course of the weekend. Tomorrow Celtic take on Ross County. Coverage begins 11:30. Also Kilmarnock against Rangers 5 p.m. Both of those on Sky Sports Football. Russell Martin was all smiles in the second period, hopefully, for him moving into this one. However, for the new Sheffield Wednesday boss, plenty of work to do at half-time if his Owl side are going to get anywhere near the Saints in the second half.
The William Hill 5, top tips for positive play.
About the PGMOL and the EFL cracking down on time wasting, ensuring that more ball was in play over the course of 90 minutes. Adam Armstrong getting a yellow card for kicking the ball away, and just less than 40 seconds after that, Lee Gregory of Sheffield Wednesday found himself in exactly the same boat. They said they were going to do it, Joby. So far, so good.
Yeah, listen, I think certainly from the players' point of view and coaches, they would have been briefed. Everybody knows it's a new directive that's coming in, and it's just silly, really, from Gregory there, certainly, and I think obviously from Armstrong as well, and you just can't do it anymore. I think we're going to see a really high number of bookings, of course, and it's just something that players have to bear in mind, because they're needless, really, Brooks.
And the perfect place to do it in the first game of the season. Southampton leading Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 at half-time. Nathan Taylor shot with a helping back of the head from Adam Armstrong, separating the two sides ahead of kick-off in the second half. Once again, Don Goodman, Gary Weaver.
Yeah, he's prolific with the back of his head, Adam Armstrong. Senior goal number 99 of his career. He did actually stick his hand in the air, didn't he, and tried to reel away, but he saw the rest of his teammates were surrounding Nathan Teller and celebrating with him. So no changes at the break. Sheffield Wednesday will get the second half underway, attacking the cop end of Hillsborough. Southampton's last opening day win was a decade ago against West Bromwich Albion in 2013 in the Premier League. A late Ricky Lambert penalty did the trick. They're in charge here, in command more so than the scoreline would suggest right now. They were the dominant force in that first half.
Yeah, that's the positive for him and his team and these fans. They're only 1-0 down. Naturally, if you're Russell Martin, that's the disappointment for him, is that they're 1-0 ahead, but they didn't really create too many other goal-scoring chances. That would be the little disappointment.
Chance for Will Vaughs to use that prodigious throw of his, and almost paid off.
So straight from kick-off, they went long to Callum Patterson. He won a flick on, they got a throw-in. They took a long throw-in into the area. Causes a bit of problems. That's a throw back to last season, if you ask me.
And what can Wednesday do from the follow-up corner? Barry Bannon just gesturing towards the cop end.
They're a big team, I said before. This is an area that I felt they could hurt Southampton.
Bannon with that corner. Moved on by Teller. Wednesday players flooding back. One of those was Patterson, who was fouled by Alcaraz. This has been Sheffield Wednesday's power base for the last few years. They've lost 4 of their last 52 at home here at Sheffield Wednesday. Just the 1 defeat, albeit in League One last season, which was Barnsley. 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 will get to that, just about. Jack Stevens, who has a little look over his shoulder to see if his goalkeeper was about to have a word or two with him. He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet, as Gavin Bazunu had a tough time at times last season.
I was looking at the numbers, not just him, it was Alex McCarthy as well, wasn't it? The lowest save percentage in the Premier League, the lowest save percentage for 10 years in the Premier League, which really puts the focus on those 2 goalkeepers.
Ended up out of the team, Gavin Bazunu, which is when Alex McCarthy came in. Here's Nathan Tella. He's been told that that first goal is not his.
Oh, I think he might have been told now. There's a hole in the Sheffield Wednesday dressing room wall, I think.
Alcaraz looking to release 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Patterson on the retreat for Wednesday. Stevens looking to try and step in. This is what Southampton want to do, to try and draw Sheffield Wednesday out again. Manning. Stevens. Alcaraz, nicely done by Southampton. Alcaraz picks up the baton again. Here's Tella. It's Nathan Tella, seen off that time. Walker-Peters. Ward-Prowse, lifted in by Smallbone, away by Iorfa. That's Patterson, who was caught late. 𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, the aggressor.
Well, he's brave, Callum Patterson, as he has been throughout his career. He knew he was going to take a blow here. It's over his head, he has to charge out and be aggressive and win it, and he just gets caught. 𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 leads with his shoulder a little bit.
Says every pre-season makes him want to retire, Callum Patterson. He's got through another one. This is Bannon. Taking the fight to Southampton, but nobody in the middle. Bazunu will hold on. Released by Gavin Bazunu. There's 𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Faced by Iorfa. A really good end to last season, Dominic Iorfa. He's been kept in, but presented straight back to 𝓳𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 by Delgado. Is taken down again.
Oh, it's aggressive. Really aggressive. I think it might have been Will Hawks. Just comes in from the side. It is actually Delgado that makes the trip, and he's already on a yellow card, isn't he?
Was relegated with his team in Portugal, Passos de Ferreira last season, Juan Delgado. Southampton attacking the end where their near 3,000 fans are housed. Ward-Prowse is standing over this. Stevens amongst those waiting in the box here. In by Ward-Prowse, and it's dropped to Tella.
Almost turned into a terrific pass to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲 just had a good range of passing. That's Bednarek. James Ward-Prowse. What can Sheffield Wednesday do on the counter-attack here? It's Josh Windass.
Well, it is the only way they're going to get something out of this game, isn't it? To play on the counter-attack, Sheffield Wednesday. And this is the loudest Hillsborough has been so far tonight.
Is coming over to this near side. He's being called over by the fourth official, Josh Smith. And the yellow card is shown. As we said earlier on, only one member of the management team is allowed to stand in the technical area at one time. The others have to stand at the back, although two are in there right now. What can Sheffield Wednesday produce on this corner kick? Iorfa rising, and the shot finds its way through from Callum Paterson, Lee Gregory I should say, who smashed it home. Now Sheffield Wednesday can start to settle down into life in the championship. They've been up against it, but they hit back.
I'm sure somebody said that they could cause them a threat from set pieces not that long ago. Well, there it is, right on cue. They just simply haven't done this. Yes, it's a bit of a throwback to last season, but who cares when you're against a passing team like this? Get the ball in there, you never know where it might bounce, and once it breaks to Lee Gregory, he's a predator, isn't he? It's a brilliant finish. It would have been very easy for him to snatch at that, pull it wide, but he picks that bottom corner beautifully. And for all the dominance, Southampton have been pegged back, and now they're in a fight that maybe they didn't need to be in.
Well, it was his cross which led to Josh Windass's playoff final winning goal at Wembley. And Lee Gregory has stepped up and delivered here. Wednesday once again in the recovery business. This place is alive. Confirmation of the yellow card to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in the Sheffield Wednesday technical area earlier on. Away by Iorfa. Stevens back to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. And now the mood has changed here.
Let's see what Southampton have got mentally. They regain the composure. For Wednesday, hadn't laid a glove on them the entire game in reality.
They know there'll be tough times ahead this season in the Championship. They'll have to try and hang on in there and try and get something. On nights like this, Sheffield Wednesday. Giving Southampton a tap on the shoulder here to say, we are here.
Barry Bannon is definitely playing back up, isn't he? He's the one that was leading that charge, the press. It has to be a strategy, doesn't it? Put a little bit more pressure on the ball.
Southampton respond here. Smallbone. Teller. Smallbone again. Ward-Prowse. Smallbone. There's Teller. As they try to find a way out. No messing about from Dawson. There's Windass. Looking to switch the play. And Patterson, I think, was the intended target, but 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 took it down and it got away from Callum Patterson.
Maybe a language barrier there.
Teller goes in low that time. Ehekwe. Here's Backinson. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷. Now Barry Bannon looking for Gregory. Smallbone beats him to it. A bit more though about Sheffield Wednesday.
Amazing what a goal does, isn't it?
There's Alcaraz. Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz again. Teller. Southampton moving up the gears once more. Dawson goes to ground and Patterson deals with it. Alcaraz is down here for Southampton. Wednesday have a player down too. Backinson, the man down for Sheffield Wednesday.
He drives in field, doesn't he? Carlos Alcaraz, very, very good at those little give and goes. Happy to play in tight areas. I think just maybe falls a little bit awkwardly.
Well, there's real concern here for Alcaraz.
It's a real awkward fall, wasn't it? As he drove, laid the ball out to Nathan Teller. A bit of concern here. We've been so happy, wouldn't he, really, that first half, so dominant. Look at that, 477 passes, which is a championship record, 223. But for all of that dominance, and it was dominance, look at the difference in the expected goals. There's hardly any, really, and that's the thing that when you dominate a game like that has to change. You need to create more clear and obvious goal-scoring chances, and he'll know that.
Well, he'll be happy that that man is back on his feet. Incidentally, just to clear up that yellow card earlier on to the Wednesday coaching team, it was because an imaginary card was waved in the direction of the fourth official, Josh Smith. If players do receive treatment and leave the pitch, they have to wait for 30 seconds now before they're waved back on. It's Smallbone to Manning. As you mentioned earlier, followed Russell Martin from Swansea to Southampton. Importantly, gets to Russell Martin that he has a player out there on the pitch who knows exactly what he wants, having played under him for a couple of years.
Parallels can be drawn, can't they, with Josh Cullen at Burnley under Vincent Kompany. Great for a manager, isn't it, or a coach, to have a player in there that knows exactly the way he wants to work and play.
Well, both Backinson and Alcaraz are back on the pitch. The 30 seconds is over. There's a Dozy stepping in field. Able to produce what he was looking for.
He's got so much ability, but that end product is missing at the moment, and it's maybe a little bit of decision making.
Well, Anthony Musaba is awaiting his introduction here. Just had to change his shirt from long sleeve to short sleeve. As you do. There's Delgado. Patterson. Gregory was stepping back from an offside position. Stevens. Teller the target, and the target has been found. But Walker Peters inside, it's Teller, he went for it again.
Well, again, a little bit like Samuel Edozie on the other side. It's maybe the wrong choice at the wrong time. Like cutting inside, but the odds stacked against you a little bit. Wasn't quite as far in, as far close to goal, or the angle, as when he actually scored. Although having found the back of the net via Adam Armstrong's head, you can understand why he'd take that one on.
Ethan Teller is yellow carded by Bobby Madley. He's chasing back. He's not happy that he's given a foul away, but that wet waft of the arm in dissent will this season get you a yellow card. I hope we're educating people at home here. We're trying. Windass steps in field. What the authorities have seen is that a lot of the behaviour, particularly last season, towards officials has been replicated at the grassroots level, and referees are walking away from the game at grassroots level, and there is a real shortage of referees. That's why they're hoping that behaviour towards officials will improve this season with the robust clampdown upon any misbehaviour. Anthony Musaba will be coming on to make his debut shortly for Sheffield Wednesday. We're hearing it will be Lee Gregory to make way. There's Bednarek. Walker Peters. Now Ward-Prowse. There's Teller. Southampton once again with numbers inside the Wednesday box. Manning. Penalty was caught. The referee has acknowledged it and is playing the advantage. Manning. There's Stevens. Small bone. Stevens steps forward. Manning. There's Adam Armstrong. Manning's ball in. Teller had made his way in from the far side. This is Walker Peters. He's gone for the return from Ward-Prowse. Windass went to ground. Walker Peters keeps on going, and now the ball goes out, and Southampton will have a corner.
Well, he's done really, really well to keep that ball in, because it would have been a goal kick. He knocked a little bit of ricochet off him. Windass with a tackle. It was going out for a goal kick, and then to react like that and keep it in, outstanding.
Edozie. Dawson will come, and the Sheffield Wednesday fan will claim.
Promotion did mean that Sheffield Wednesday started this season with £8 million in the bank. Would have been £1.5 million if they'd started the campaign in League One. That's the difference. And now here's that change. Anthony Musaba comes on to make his debut, the Dutch winger who they signed from Monaco. And off goes 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰.
Yeah, don't underestimate how good a finish that is as it's dropping. Picks the corner out really calmly. That is their only shot on target in this game. You know what? Doesn't matter. They're all square at the moment, thanks to that man there.
So the 22-year-old Anthony Musaba comes on. He had loans at Nijmegen and Metz in France as well, in the second tier in France last season. Played just the one game for Monaco. He is on.
He is also rapid, I'm told. That would be an out ball.
But all rapid compared to you, Don.
Well, thanks, Gary. Definitely not a compliment in there anywhere, is it?
I've missed you. Musaba has got eyes on this. Likewise, Smallbone. There's Patterson.
Well, he was heavily involved in the first half, wasn't he? Adam Armstrong making good runs, really linking the play really well. He's had 2 touches in the second half so far, and I think that signifies the difference between first half and second half. Less dominant. Need to improve that, get him in the game.
Well, he wants to play through the middle, not wide, Adam Armstrong, and that is where he's operating tonight for Southampton. He's got 28 goals. The last time he was in the Championship, that was with Blackburn. He's waiting in the box here as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 drives at Sheffield Wednesday, and it was just over the head of Ward-Prowse. There's Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters.
That's another shot from outside the area, isn't it? And that's what they seem to be resorting to. Southampton haven't had too many shots from inside the penalty area. Cameron Dawson had it covered.
Well, Southampton were dancing around Sheffield Wednesday in that first half, but not so much in the second. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to Smallbone. Manning. Smallbone again. So Martin did have Matt Grimes playing in that particular Will Smallbone role at Swansea. Bednarek. There's Walker-Peters. Trying to give Musaba the slip. Stevens. Alcaraz. It's tight, it's intricate from Southampton, but once again Sheffield Wednesday have swatted them away. And a chance here for Musaba to make his way forward. Barry Bannon is up there. And Bednarek puts a firm full stop to that particular move.
Well, there's that pace. Heard the excitement amongst the crowd. There's your out ball.
He's a winger who can play through the middle, and through the middle is where he is operating since coming on tonight. Manning. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷. Now Callum Patterson. In the battle with 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and Patterson comes out on top. So Southampton making a change. Stuart Armstrong coming on, and off goes Charlie Alcaraz, who leaves the scene. Took up that injury earlier on in the half. Stuart Armstrong is on. Last time Southampton were at this level, it got worse before it got better. They ended up falling into the third tier of English football, but then it was back-to-back promotions to take them back to the Premier League under Nigel Adkins. And of course, there was plenty which followed. Mauricio Pochettino, European football, Ronald Koeman, Virgil van Dijk, Sadio Mane.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's been for so long a fairly established Premier League team. But there are others in the Championship that are very similar. Your Swanseas, your West Broms, Stoke, years and years in the Premier League. But once you come down here, it can bite you and you can get stuck. And that is definitely what Southampton do not want.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 on the move here. Armstrong, Ward-Prowse. Again, Wednesday with enough bodies back to deal with it. But the first chance to get back is always the best chance to get back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got massive advantage, both financially, parachute payments, player sales, money. I'm sure that Russell Martin will have some new players to work with before the close of the transfer window. Got to take advantage of your advantage, haven't you?
Yeah, around about £44 million in parachute payments this season for Southampton. Stevens. Now it's Nathan Tella. Walker-Peters. They find themselves in this area of the pitch so often. Southampton. Stuart Armstrong. Trying to pick out 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and Patterson was onto it. Masaba and Smallbone for company. Double change is imminent from Sheffield Wednesday. Ashley Fletcher and Liam Palmer will be coming on shortly. There's Manning. Yeah, Patterson doing his work defensively. There is more of a threat now on Wednesday. Play that ball forward with Masaba at the top end of the pitch.
Yeah, genuine pace.
Armstrong, Smallbone. It's Stuart Armstrong. That packed a punch.
Once again, it's another strike from outside the area, which I'm sure is not ideal for Russell Martin, although occasionally you will see those flying to the top corner.
There's a double change from Cisco Munoz. Liam Palmer, last season's player of the season. And now he scored that fourth goal here against Peterborough in the playoffs. He is coming on, as is Ashley Fletcher to make his debut. Will Vauxhall and Juan Delgado are the two who are withdrawn. Fletcher, who was at Watford with Cisco Munoz. Munoz was in charge when Ashley Fletcher arrived. Didn't get too much game time under Cisco Munoz, but he really liked his attitude. And Ashley Fletcher knows that this is a big, big season for him. And Palmer enters the fray too. Southampton voices you can hear filling the air in South Yorkshire. Sort out their allocation tonight. They'll sort out their allocation for the away trip to Plymouth as well. And a yellow card has been shown to Cameron Dawson for time wasting.
Yep. Again,
go on, say it, Don.
Every goalkeeper in the Championship would have been told. Take too long. This is what's going to happen.
Kevin Friends watching on from the stands here, keeping an eye on what the officials are doing here tonight. A lot of pressure on the officials because of these tweaks to the laws, but it's all with a view to improving the game time and also the behaviour as well.
Rightly so as well. I think players have just got so clever at wasting time and running the clock down. The referees weren't as wise to it. Certainly are now.
Che Adams will be coming on shortly for Southampton. Another player who's been linked with moves elsewhere, and it will be Adam Armstrong to make way. Che Adams back in the Steel City, we used to call the other side of the city home, hence not so friendly welcome to Hillsborough. Adam Armstrong's night is over.
It's the reception that Che Adams would have expected. No surprises.
22 goals the last time he was in the Championship. That was wearing the badge of Birmingham City. Adams looking to get involved immediately. Here's Manning. Armstrong. Teammate of Russell Martin's with the Scottish national team. And Stuart Armstrong again, no real power in the effort in the end.
He's a real top player, top operator for me. Stuart Armstrong, he is one of many Southampton players with a quality to operate probably in the Premier League. Tame effort in the end, but really good build-up work.
Fletcher in a battle. He has now gone through the middle for Sheffield Wednesday, and Masaba has moved out into his more natural wide position. Effort from Stuart Armstrong was Southampton's first shot on target in the second 45.
Yeah, it's had a different feel, hasn't it? This second half, completely different.
Munoz stealing the ball back, but ran into trouble in the form of Smallbone. So would you say Cisco Munoz has got to grips in the second half with what Southampton have been trying to do?
Well, definitely a little bit in terms of, I think they've pressed higher and engaged a little bit higher rather than allow Southampton to come onto them as easily, but they've restricted Southampton. They've played narrow, they've played tight, they've been aggressive. Much better in that regard. Cisco Munoz will want better quality, but this run by Barry Bannon here, this is the difference. We did not see that in the first half.
33-year-old Barry Bannon, who's still running here. He's after Stevens. Ward-Prowse, Teller. Into the final 10 minutes, plus additional time.
At the moment, this Southampton performance, it almost reminds you of Swansea, doesn't it, really? You know, a team dominating the ball, but are they really creating chances with all of that possession? Not as many as maybe they should.
Smallbone. Walker-Peters. Good defending again. 𝓣𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with it, and Cameron Dawson appreciating what the defender has done in front of him. 𝓣𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷, who did start out as a left-back before being moved to centre-back in his career, playing at left-back tonight for Sheffield Wednesday. Prowse with the corner. Chella. Prowse again, plenty of lift on it. There's a clash of heads in there, as Dawson claims.
Yeah, trainer's going to be on. Jack Stevens went up for a challenge with Callum Patterson.
For one for Jack Stevens. Well, he said earlier on that Sheffield Wednesday, no matter what division they're in, are very difficult to beat here. They are stubborn here. And they've had to dig in here tonight as ̓̓𝓗 gets some instructions before he enters the fray. Missing the foul. Wednesday with this free kick in a promising position as the yellow card is shown to Jack Stevens.
Yeah, it's not for the severity of it, it's for the cynicism of it, isn't it? He misjudges. It's here. Ashley Fletcher does really well to nick it off him, and he just hooks his legs away. Can't have any complaints, but worse than the yellow card, Sheffield Wednesday have a great opportunity to get quality into the danger area here.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 waits. Patterson too, with a smile on his face. I think he's talking to his compatriot Stuart Armstrong there. Something's being said. Barry Bannon is preparing to send this in front of the Kop for Sheffield Wednesday. It's flat from Bannon. Here he is again. Now Callum Patterson. So Sheffield Wednesday about to bring on 𝓳𝓗𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and it will be Josh Windass who is withdrawn this time. James, who was on loan here last season before signing permanently, and he comes on to replace Windass. And we'll never forget a certain goal by Josh Windass with his head too.
A hero forever in these parts for that.
So on comes James. Still plenty of time for one of these two to win this. Southampton, the dominant force in the first half. Striking through Nathan Teller's shot, which clipped Adam Armstrong and went in. Wednesday got to grips with Southampton in the second and levelled up thanks to Lee Gregory. Walker-Peters. Ward-Prowse, and that could be the winner for Southampton. Che Adams back in the Steel City, but on the blue side of the Steel City, he may just have won this for Southampton.
Well, hold your horses, there's going to be plenty of added time, so there's still plenty of time for Sheffield Wednesday to recover, but that's more like it from Southampton. They've passed, they've moved, they've broken that back line of Sheffield Wednesday for probably the very first time in the second half, all with a clever passing and movement. It's that run here from James Ward-Prowse, he just goes in behind
It's a simple tap-in, but it's Liam Palmer that lets him run. He's pointing at James Ward-Prowse there, but he's not tracking the run. What is Liam Palmer doing? He's not marking anybody. He has to go with Ward-Prowse, and that's a heavy, heavy price to pay, and you couldn't write it, could you, that he would score?
Well, he was given a red-hot reception by the Sheffield Wednesday fans for his Sheffield United past. And now he's popped up with what could be a winning goal here for Southampton against Wednesday. Saba, nicely done. As Don pointed out there, there's still plenty of time to play. You get to the 87th minute now and you think, hang on, could be a fair bit of additional time. We saw 6 minutes at the end of the first half.
We've had the substitutions in the second half, haven't we? We've had 2 goals in the second half, so there will be plenty of time for his team to try and find a late goal.
Hope you booked a hotel. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 about to come on for Southampton. I feel he got a fair chance last season, 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's about to replace Samuel Edozie. Edozie's game is over, and on comes 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, scorer in a European final with Rangers the season before last. As I mentioned, found it tough and didn't feel he got an opportunity last season. It's been a long trek for those Southampton fans. Right now they are within touching distance of 3 priceless points at the start of the championship season. However, this ground does like to do a little bit of drama, as we know.
Well, long throw again.
Callum Paterson on long throw duty here. He's using our microphone there to try the ball because they're not allowed to use towels this season to try the ball. He's just used the microphone. That's a new one. In from Paterson. Barry Bannon. There's Paterson again. It's Barry Bannon. What's a spectacular goal when he's forced the corner.
Well, that's a good response, isn't it, from Sheffield Wednesday? They haven't let the heads go down. They've pressed, they've harried, and they've got the crowd involved, and that's all important here.
Nine additional minutes. We're into 9 additional minutes at the end of this game. Barry Bannon with the corner. Iorfa will try and do something with it. We're going to be the step in. Bazunu will hold on as Wednesday fans more than the players appeal for a penalty there. Walker-Peters. Hits the deck. He gets the free kick.
Well, that had a lot to shout at. A shout for those Southampton fans over the last year or two. In the main, that have enjoyed what they've seen this evening.
He lost his first game in charge of MK Dons and also Swansea. Russell Martin. It's a very precise style of football to try and get to grips with. It takes time, but he believes these players have picked it up quickly. We saw that in the first half.
Yeah, and this is different, isn't it? This is Southampton in the Championship with Premier League standard players everywhere. The expectation, the demand on Russell Martin, it will be different to when he arrived at MK Dons and at Swansea.
This is a job with real pressure. The first time he's had this kind of pressure as a manager, Russell Martin.
I suspect he'll love it as well. This is Stevens. Manning. Walker-Peters. It's Callum Paterson. Cisco Munoz likes to keep the atmosphere a happy one in the dressing room. We saw that during his time at Watford. A real character. As it stands right now, he'll be starting life as Sheffield Wednesday boss with a defeat, unless things change, and we've still got 6 additional minutes to play. Southampton fans singing about being top of the league.
They'll be hoping it's not the last time they're singing it as well, won't they?
Stevens, as Wednesday look to close in, and Bannon looks up to the sky because he wasn't too far away from that. Style of football, the Southampton players have to trust in each other, believe in each other. Aribo. There's Patterson. Now Stuart Armstrong.
And this is where being a possession-heavy team comes in really handy, keeping the ball, running the clock down. You've got the lead, you don't actually have to go anywhere or do anything with that possession. Keep it away from the opposition.
Armstrong. There's Aribo. Walker-Peters. Heller now is operating on this side of the pitch. On the left, which is where he spent a lot of his time during his time at Burnley last season.
Well, this is how you run the clock down, isn't it? Keeping the ball, they've had it for a good while now. There's only less than half of the added time to go now.
It means we get longer to spend with each other, Don. Thrilling, Gary, thrilling. Always a pleasure. There's Manning. Bednarek. Smallbone. There's Walker-Peters. Southampton fans, as you can hear, enjoying that they are winning away from home. It has been a tough old time for them. If you do keep circling that drain in the Premier League, eventually you will fall. And Southampton looking to climb back to their feet here tonight. Bednarek. You're counting these passes, Don. Dawson will try and put an end to it, and he does. Wednesday with 2.5 minutes to try and find an answer here. Bannon beaten to it. There's Aribo. It was taken out. Atkinson with the apology. So still plenty more Championship football to come your way. A triple header on Sunday. We start at Leicester against Coventry, 11:30 Sky Sports Football. Then we're off to Ellen Road, Leeds against Cardiff City, 2:15 on Sunday. And then we're off to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland against Ipswich, 4:45. All on Sky Sports Football. There's Armstrong. Aribo. They've really managed this added time beautifully, haven't they, Southampton? Sheffield Wednesday have barely had a kick of the ball. There's Walker-Peters. Martin still hoping to hold on to the players he has. On the bench tonight, James Ward-Prowse starting the game. Shea Adams being up with a move away as well. I wonder how different the squad will look when the transfer window closes. Well, he's been brilliant, James Ward-Prowse. He's been excellent in his passing, his movement, his energy, his leadership, but his mentality. To be a player who belongs in the Premier League and see moves turned down, but have this brilliant mentality, he should take a lot of credit for that. Really should. I do wonder if West Ham will come back calling. Relegation really did hit him hard last season. James Ward-Prowse, been at the club since the age of 8. Bazunu gets to that, and that is that. As Southampton start to emerge from the ruins of last season, it's the perfect start to life back in the Championship. And the man who struck the winner, the man who used to wear the red and white on the other side of this city, Shea Adams, firing home. That was after Adam Armstrong scored the first, although I'm not sure he's told Nathan Teller yet. Teller's shot clipped in off Armstrong. Lee Gregory levelled up for Sheffield Wednesday before Adams struck. But we saw what Southampton are capable of in that first 45 minutes. In particular, Sheffield Wednesday struggled to deal with them. They made a better fist of it in the second half. But ultimately, this is Southampton's night. The calling card has been left. It's finished. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 2.
Straightforward for a slick Saints side. They were made to work in the second half. Sheffield Wednesday did strike back and get themselves on level terms, but Shea Adams came on, the former Blade, of course, coming here to haunt Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough to claim all 3 points for the travelling Saints side. Joby McAnuff, Clinton Morrison, Franny Benali alongside me here. And maybe a sign, Franny, of things to come for Southampton. They want to dominate possession, but by no means will it be straightforward for them.
No, it's you looked at it in the second half there and you thought, like, with the crowd getting right behind Sheffield Wednesday and scoring from the set piece like they did, you think, okay, how are we going to approach this now? And we're looking across from our position, weren't we? And looking at Russell Martin, he's in the technical area, encouraging his players to still pop the passes around, still play at the back. Even in those last remaining minutes in added time, he's still telling his players not to go long, keep the ball, pass the ball around, and that is going to be the way that the team are going to be playing for sure. I mean, it's a brave way of playing. You know, we're just saying as well, what will that be like when it comes up against a team that is good at really pressing and winning a ball back? But tonight, brilliant, perfect way to start. Really pleased for them.
Perfect way to start for Russell Martin, just going over to salute the travelling Southampton faithful. And Joby, what you've seen from Southampton tonight, is that the template for them for the rest of the season? I know we're only one game in, but extremely effective in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest compliment I can give Russell Martin is the time that he's done it in. You know, it's been a little bit of work on the training ground, of course, all the rumours and speculation about players leaving, but to come out and it wasn't a perfect performance. First half they were excellent with the ball without really creating enough chances for the amount of possession they had. but there was enough elements in there, I think, from his point of view that he'd be really pleased with. And the biggest thing is they won the game. I know it sounds simple, perhaps, but this is a team that is not used to winning football matches. So to get that confidence in them and also get the belief in the way that he wants to play, that is absolutely huge tonight.
And I suppose, as you were saying earlier on, Clinton, the biggest difference, the standard of the squads. One's come from League One, one's dropped out of the Premier League. When he can bring Che Adams on to score the winner, it shows what they've got, doesn't it?
That's what he does, Che Adams. He would have been disappointed that he didn't start, but obviously they play one up and they've gone with Armstrong, but both strikers. But that's all you can do as a centre forward. Come on the pitch and prove that you should be starting goals. I actually did say to him, why are you not starting? He said he doesn't know. But when he gets on that pitch, he'll just show the manager what he can do, and it's a great finish. It's a good finish. He scores goals, Che Adams, and it would be him scoring against Sheffield Wednesday, being the next Sheffield United player. It was written in the stars, but it was a good finish and a good cameo from Che Adams.
Smart finish and a smart cameo from Che Adams. Of course, Nathan Tella played his part as well in a Southampton victory here at Hillsborough. It's got the Championship up and running, and August will see a lot of fine sport coming your way on Sky Sports.